We must reclaim our economy, and there cannot be a reclaiming of the economy without a fundamental change. The white people tell you that the way you want to go about it, you are going to disrupt and collapse this economy. But the reality is, and I'm happy I'm speaking to the black elite here, many of you have gone through renovation of houses. You know what happens when you renovate a house. There is disruption. There is no way we can transform this economy without disrupting this economy. We need to expropriate our land without compensation. Because when they came here and took our land, they never paid any compensation. It was taken through black genocide. It will not be for the first time that the state becomes a custodian of critical resource in South Africa. We know that the state is a custodian of mineral resources in South Africa. These mineral resources were before owned by private companies, and the state adopted a policy that made the state a custodian of mineral resources. We are now calling for the state to be of a natural resource called the land. It is not different from the mineral resources. That which we are calling for was done before through mineral resources. And when we say let the state be the custodian of the land, we do not mean that the Van Tonder who owns a farm there is going to be taken from Van Tonder. Van Tonder will own that farm even when the state is the custodian of the land. And he will only own it if he continues to do what is the purpose of that land. The day he stops farming, he loses that land and is given to a person who's prepared to continue farming in that particular land. No one loses a house. You continue to own that house for as long as it is used for residential purposes. But once you turn it into a massage parlor, it is no longer serving its purpose. Therefore, it must be given to a person who will use that land for the rightful purpose. This message, they understand it very well. They deliberately distort it. They even want to accuse those who are advocating for land expropriation without compensation. They want to accuse us for this recession. If we are in a recession because people can't trust the ownership of the land by black people, then let it be. Because when the land is owned by white people, there is no recession. But when it is owned by black people, it will lead into a recession. And you all join them and say, let us not own the land because it will cause a recession. Because black is what causes a recession. We must never accept that explanation. We are equally capable to own an economy. We are equally capable to own the land. And therefore there is no investor who must suspect us on the basis of the color of our skin. Because if you use the color of the skin to determine whether you are going to invest or not, then you are a racist investor who has got no place in South Africa. Will rather swim in a recession than to benefit from the proceeds of a racist investor who doesn't want the rightful owners of this land to participate meaningfully in the ownership of the economy. We want the uniform produced for nurses, for police, for soldiers, for patients in hospitals, for prisoners. Everything that has got uniform in this country and is owned by the state, that uniform must be produced in South Africa. We must have a clear policy about that. We cannot have traffic cops wearing a uniform that is written proudly produced in China, yet you say this is a patriot, a police officer looking after the interest of South Africa wearing a proudly Chinese uniform. It's an insult to all of us as South Africans, and I don't understand why Our government cannot take a simple policy position that says the food we are going to eat in hospitals, in prisons, in schools, those food are going to be produced from the farms from South Africa. And if we are going outside, we'll go to Africa. Only when we fail in Africa, we'll go and try somewhere else in the world.